Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Hello and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to our latest episode of Musical Musings. We air this program every Wednesday at 1 p.m. and broadcast it from Rajamacon, University of Technology, Peranakan. I will be bringing this program to you in two parts. For the first part, we will introduce a song and the artist who performs it. We will talk about the main themes of the song, like what it's all about. We'll then listen to the song, and then when we get to the second half of the program, we will analyze the lyrics, which are the words to the song. We will take some time especially to look at any difficult vocabulary, slang, or idioms, anything that may be hard to understand. Then we'll get to the news and latest updates from the university, as always.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Gary Gray, and I am your host for the Musical Musings program. I'm an American English teacher here at Rajamacon, University of Technology, Peranakan. I have been teaching here for over 7 years, actually about 7.5 now, and I do like to use music in the classroom sometimes, so it's only fitting that I would bring you this musical program. So for this week's episode, we are going to be doing the song My Immortal by Evanescence. Okay, Evanescence, sort of a duo, sort of a group. I'd say it's mostly a group, but one of the reasons they broke up is because they're a group. One of the members just wanted it to be the two of them. And so it's one of the reasons they broke up. One of the founders of the band. So the two but it was founded as a duo. We had two people that came together as a band. Amy Lee and Ben Moody. They formed, I don't know if we want to say they formed this band because they were very young and it was only a duo. They started performing together, let's put it that way, around 1994. They were only 13 and 14 years old at the time. And they formed the band, the duo, started performing together, whatever you want to call it, in Little Rock, Arkansas. You may not be familiar with that. Little Rock, Arkansas. Where is that? That's right in the middle of the United States, really. Little Rock is almost right in the middle. A little bit to the southeast, but almost right in the middle of America. Okay, so the interesting thing is that Ben Moody, left in 2003. I say that's an interesting thing because that's when the song we're going to talk about today came out. So he left really right at the height of the band. The band does continue. It's still together today. Amy Lee is still in it. In fact, even though there are multiple singers in the band, because Amy Lee would sing with Ben Moody, and now that Ben Moody's gone, there's other people there in the band. So there are other singers. I have to say that based on their most popular songs, they're best known for her voice in singing, Amy Lee's voice. And I think that's why the band was able to continue without Ben Moody. The background behind that is really kind of weird because they got the other band members basically because they were Ben Moody's friends. But then Ben Moody was the one that didn't want to be in the band with them anymore because he wanted it just to be him and Amy Lee. Well, he's the one that basically brought the other band members in. Also, he can't do all of the instruments at once because they have guitar, they have drums, they're singing. Sure, you can play guitar and sing at the same time. But then what are you going to do? You have no bass, You have no drums? What are you going to do? I mean, yes, sure, there are people like, for example, folk singers. Because of the nature of that music, they can do just a guitar and singer. And if the singer is the one playing the guitar, they can basically do it by themselves. One-man show. Don't need the drums, don't need the bass, don't need anything else. Sure, yes. That's not the style of music they're doing. They're mostly considered kind of a heavy metal band. Sometimes it's considered alternative rock. This song is less heavy. My Immortal is less heavy. So it's not really a heavy metal song. Towards the end, it gets a little bit heavy, but it's generally not considered a heavy metal song. So they're sometimes considered alternative or things like that. But mostly they're considered a heavy metal band. I will also tell you that this is one of the most recent bands we've done. I do like to focus on older groups. So it's usually bands from the 70s and 80s. Last week we did a band who peaked in their kind of popularity very early in the 70s. It was basically late 60s to early 70s. Probably their peak was the early 70s. So we're usually doing like 70s and 80s, sometimes going back to the 60s. A few weeks ago, we even went back to the 50s, but usually it's 70s and 80s. We have had one or two other bands from the 90s, and I said that these guys got together in 94. But again, they were only 13 and 14. So their popularity, as far as when they really became popular, wasn't until the early 2000s. So this is really a 2000s band. Evanescence is really a 2000s band. So that's one reason why they're kind of unique for this program. They're pretty recent. They're also kind of unique for this program because they don't have a lot of really big popular songs. It's a little bit crazy because the two songs that are popular are very popular. Their other big song is Bring Me to Life. Even my partner here in Thailand. He's actually from Laos, but I talked to him about this song here in Thailand. Even my partner here. And he knows Bring Me to Life. And he doesn't know a lot of Western songs. I mean, there are a few he knows from some of the most popular artists. Like if you were to play maybe some Beyonce song or something like that, he might know it. He knows who Lady Gaga is, probably recognizes a couple of her songs, whatever. But they do have to be really popular. They do have to be one of the most popular artists. And he knows this song. He knows Bring Me to Life. He doesn't know My Immortal, which is the one we're doing today. I played that for him. He doesn't recognize that one. But he does know Bring Me to Life. A lot of people who aren't even fans of Western music know Bring Me to Life. So it's a very kind of unique band in that regard as well, where they only have a couple of big hits. I mean, I'm sure their fans, their big fans, would argue otherwise, because of course they do have some other smaller hits out there. So sure. So their fans who follow them a lot and who know all of their songs will say, "Oh no, this is a big hit and that's a big hit." But I'm talking about hits that really got out there in the culture, and that a lot of people really know about. And they really just have the two that most people out there in the world know about. So it's a very interesting band. Very interesting style. Like I said, they're basically heavy metal, but you're going to hear this song and you're going to say, that's not heavy metal. It's more kind of an alternative rock kind of song. Very interesting. And as you know, I usually pick groups that I like. So it's also a very interesting group for me to like. We're generally doing older groups because I like older music. We've done a few newer ones. We've done The Who. We've done Sabaton, which are a couple of heavy metal bands. The Who, not the old band, The Who, W-H-O. The Mongolian band, The Who, H-U. So we had to do a song where they performed with an English language singer because they usually sing in Mongolian. So we've done those bands who are much more recent, even more recent than this. But most of what we've done, is, like I said, 70s and 80s bands. So this is unique for me. Okay. So that is Evanescence. Amy Lee and Ben Moody. Ben Moody's now gone. Amy Lee's still there. The band is still around. They're still performing. They kind of formed in 1994, but again, they were only 13 and 14. That's when they got together, started performing together. And that's where the song that we're doing today, My Immortal, becomes so weird. Because if you want to ask, well, when did it come out? It's almost impossible to even answer when the song came out. Usually that's an easy question to answer. When did it appear on an album? When was it released? Well, the official release came out on the album Fallen in 2003. And like I said, that's when Ben Moody left, so that's also interesting. It came out in 2003. But here's the thing. It was put on 2 different demos in 1997 and in 2000. That also means it was written before 1997 if it was put on the demo, or perhaps in 1997. In fact, it's not even clear originally when it was written. If you try to research that, all you find out is it was a little bit before that first demo. A little bit after Amy and Ben got together. So probably right around 1995, maybe. Could be 96. It's not clear. It's not clear. I would guess, given the research I've done on it, it's around 1995. And it's possible they don't even know, because they may not remember. They may not have documented like what year that was that he did that, because it might be just written on a piece of paper when he wrote the song. I don't know. So it's really weird to try to say, oh, when did the song come out? But officially, when it was released on an official album, it was 2003, even though it had been written 6, 7, 8 years earlier. It came out in 2003. And it did get to number 7 in the U.S., which is pretty high when you're talking about a band which is generally considered to be heavy metal, even though this song, like I said, isn't really heavy metal. It's a heavy metal band. So it got all the way up to number 7. Now, one of the tricky things about the song is, what is it exactly about? It sounds like the person may have left them. Again, it's a love song. We did a love song last week. This one's a little more sad. It seems like the person has left them. And it's possible that they may have even died. They may have left them through death. So it may not be a breakup. They may have actually died. It's not clear. But, excuse me. But it is about the singer's devotion to them and their inability to move on after this person is gone. That's why it's called My Immortal. Immortal means something or someone that never dies. So to the singer, to her, this person's never going to go away. She's basically attached to them forever. I would tend to think that this means the person died, but that to me is not clear in the song. The only reason I think that is because in order to be so devoted to someone and not be able to move on, who has actually left you because they're with some other person, that would kind of make you the problem. You'd be a little bit crazy to be unwilling to move on. The words of the song, the tone of the song, it doesn't seem like the singer is crazy. She just seems sad, unable to move on. And she's expressing her devotion to this person through this song. That's the way it seems to me. Which is why I have to guess that the person died, since she doesn't seem crazy. So it's not like she's out stalking this person. But again, it's not clear. It's not clear. So, I mean, it is possible that this person just left her. We don't really know. All right, so there's a lot of words to this song. Actually, it's not that long of a song, but there's no chorus or anything, so there's a lot of words to go through. So let's keep moving here. Let's just get on to the song. I'll let you listen to it. You can figure it out for yourself, and we'll just analyze what the actual words mean. Make sure there's nothing confusing in here, so you know what she's at least saying, what she's singing about. Okay, let's get to the song. And for those of you joining us on YouTube, as you know, if you watch this program or listen to it, copyright issues prevent us from putting the video in here. So you will see a link in the upper right to the video for this song. And once the video's over, you can just click back here to watch the second half of our program. Of course, everyone else listening via radio or streaming, you should be just fine because we can embed the music. We just can't embed the video. So everyone else should be able to listen just fine. All right, let's get to the song.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical musings, musical musings.
Welcome back. All right, so that was My Immortal by Evanescence. And it's a song about devotion and not being able to move on. Okay, so let's get right to the lyrics. Like I said, it is pretty long, so let's get right to it here. All right, so we start out, I'm so tired of being here, suppressed by all my childish fears. Okay, and if you have to leave, I wish that you would just leave. All right, so I'm so tired of being here, suppressed by all my childish fears. Okay, so when you're suppressed by something, it means you're not acting normally. You're not able to express yourself because you're afraid of something. So she's tired of being in this situation. And if you have to leave, I wish you'd just leave. So this first part actually does sound like she's talking about someone that has left her. But I still think she's not. It's not clear. Not clear. I could be wrong. Definitely could be wrong. But what she could actually be saying there is that she's having so much trouble dealing with her feelings about this loss that she wishes she didn't have to. So she doesn't really want this person gone because if they've actually died, if they've passed away, because she does want to keep their memory, of course. But it's just weighs on her so much. She just wishes, just for this one moment, that even the memory of this person was gone. She just wishes he'd leave. Even though she doesn't really wish that. But just for this moment, because like it starts out, she's so tired of being here. And what would those childish fears be? Well, when you're a child, you're kind of afraid of new things a lot of times. So again, this is being the fear of moving on. So now she has to find someone else. She has to move on with her life. So she's suppressed. She's afraid of that. Okay? And if you have to leave, I wish that you would just leave. Because your presence still lingers here, and it won't leave me alone. So here is where we already start turning this into where I'm wondering if maybe the person is actually dead and not leaving her. Because when it says, and if you have to leave, I wish that you would just leave, that suggests that he hasn't left yet, right? Because she's saying, I wish that you would just leave. But then she says, because your presence still lingers here. To linger means to stay somewhere. But when you talk about someone's presence, lingering. Even though to be present somewhere means that that's where you are. That's not what we mean when we say your presence still lingers. What that means is that you can feel, it feels like that person's there. They're not. When you say your presence still lingers here, it's like you just feel like they're here. Or maybe you can even smell them if they used to wear some certain cologne or perfume and you can still smell them there or something like that. It feels like they're there, but they are not. So this person is not there. And it won't leave me alone. So she's talking about his presence, the feeling. So she's just constantly thinking about it. Constantly thinking about it. And she continues on. These wounds won't seem to heal. The pain is just too real. Okay, this one should be easy as long as you understand the words. The word wound, you may not know that word. That means like an injury. But we use that word also to mean like an emotional injury. So that's what she's talking about when she talks about the pain. It's like her heart, her feelings. So she can't get, so again, it's about not being able to get over this. The wounds, the injury won't heal. These wounds won't seem to heal. The pain is just too real. So again, this is kind of a sad love song about how she can't move on. The wounds don't heal. The pain is too much. Again, this really sounds to me like someone who's died. But once again, it's not clear. Right at the beginning of the song, it sounds like someone that's left her. But then she has that line again where it says, I wish that you would just leave. Sounds like that person's still there. But then the very next line says, your presence still lingers here, which means that he's gone. Is he here? Is he gone? What's the story? It seems pretty clear from the rest of this that he is gone. The question is, how? Did this person leave her or did they die? I'm still thinking it's dying. Okay, we continue on. There's just too much that time cannot erase. Okay. So what she's saying there, we have a saying in English, time heals all wounds. And we actually do use that a lot of times when someone dies. You know? So once again, this sounds like someone dying to me. To me, that's what it sounds like. I could be wrong. So we use that phrase, and what that means is that over time, if you've lost someone you love, I don't know that it really gets easier. I've lost people I love, especially my brother. It's been almost exactly 3 years. Still not easy. Can't say that I've gotten over it. But there's at least this thought that as the years and years and years go on, at least it's easier to just live your life and move on with your life. Again, some people are not so sure that's true, but that's the feeling, that's the saying. And what she's saying is that that is not true. There's just too much. In other words, they've experienced too much together. That time, as we move on through time, it's not like we're just going to forget all that. That all that stuff is not going to go away. That's not going to happen. It's just too much that time cannot erase. Now that is maybe slightly different from the saying that we use, because when we say time heals all wounds, you're not trying to erase those memories, But still, we're talking about a similar thing here, especially since she just mentioned wounds. These wounds won't seem to heal. So we're definitely talking about something similar here. Okay, so let's move on here. When you cried, I'd wipe away all of your tears. When you'd scream, I'd fight away all of your fears. And I held your hand through all of these years, but you still have all of me. Okay, so I think all of that is pretty easy to understand. When you cried, I'd wipe away all of your tears. When you'd scream, I'd fight away all of your fears. And I held your hand through all these years. So basically, she's saying that she's always been there for him. Always there to comfort him when he cried or when he screamed. So if he was sad or if he was afraid, she was always there to comfort him. Wipe away all his tears, fight away all his fears, hold his hand through all those years. You still have all of me. So she's saying that now she is still devoted to him. Now, do those lines seem to imply whether he's left or died? I don't know. Those sound a little more like maybe he's just left. But that's not clear. Okay, we continue on. You used to captivate me by your resonating light. Now I'm bound by the life you left behind. Now here definitely sounds like we may be talking about someone who died. Okay, you used to captivate me by your resonating light. Let's first talk about that. This one's interesting. To say someone captivates you, it means like you're just really taken in by them. You can't stop paying attention to them, thinking about them, looking at them, that sort of thing. You're captivated by them. If you think of a performance captivating you, you're just watching it intently. Okay, by your resonating light. What does that mean? We're basically talking about, obviously, this person is not lit up. So we're really talking about someone who's giving off a lot of energy. Someone who maybe has a strong personality or something like that. Someone, again, that's going to be natural because they're captivating. So someone who's captivating. Notice it does say you used to captivate me. But all the rest of this says she's still devoted to him. So that sounds like it's someone who's actually died because they're gone. And the next line that we also just read also sounds like that. Now I'm bound by the life you left behind. The life he left behind? Yeah, that sounds like he's dead. Now, but what does she mean by that line, though? What does that line mean? I'm bound by that. Okay, she's bound by that. To be bound by something means you're stuck there, you can't get yourself free. So in other words, she's still trapped in this life. Whatever life they had together, she's still in that life, but he's gone. So again, this sounds like this is about not being able to move on. That's what this song is about, not being able to move on. The only question is he dead or did he leave? This now, again, sounds like he passed away. He died. Okay, let's continue on. Your face, it haunts me once pleasant dreams. Sorry, the way that line reads, it's a little bit weird. Hard to even understand what the words mean in there, let alone what the line means. I think I understand. Okay, your face, it haunts me once pleasant dreams. Your voice, it chased away all the sanity in me. Okay, so what is this one? What do those lines mean? That sounds a little confusing. Okay. Your face, it haunts my once pleasant dreams. Okay, so in other words, she used to dream pleasantly about him, and now it's actually painful to dream about him. Honestly, that line almost sounds like that means it's someone that's left her again. So it's really hard to figure out how this person disappeared. Did they leave her? Did they die? Definitely sounded like he died, just through the last couple lines. Why does this one sound like he left her? To me, at least from my own experience, because I have lost some loved ones, if you dream about them, that's actually kind of comforting. It helps you in remembering them. I find that to be comforting. If you're dreaming about an ex, that that may not be so nice. That may not be something you want to dream about. So that's almost like they're haunting you. At the same time, when you talk about someone haunting you, that's usually haunting. That's a ghost. Ooh, that's going to be a dead person. It's not clear at all. Not clear. But what she is definitely saying is that it's now painful. So this, again, is a sad song. Her once pleasant dreams, they used to be pleasant dreams. She used to dream, have nice dreams. Now, his face haunts her. Okay? Your voice, it chased away all the sanity in me. All right, so this line, I have to admit, I have no idea what she means. It says chased away, so I think we're talking about past tense, when he was there, but chased away all the sanity? So it made her, that suggests that it made her crazy. Your voice made me crazy. That doesn't sound like a good thing. I don't know. This should be a good thing because she's talking about there when he was there. So when he was there, it was good. This is a sad song because he's not there anymore. Whether he left or he died, he's not there. So that's why this is a sad song. So I will be honest with you, I don't know what that means. But I will tell you that when you say chasing something away, it means you're scaring it off. You're getting rid of it. You're getting it away. And sanity means, you know, your mind is like normal. You're not crazy. You're not going, wah. You're not crazy. So it says chased away all the sanity means got rid of that normal kind of mind, which means it made her crazy. Now, we do sometimes say that something makes you crazy in a good way. We do sometimes say that. That could be what she means here. Every time I heard your voice, I went crazy. Woo! She could mean that. Could mean that in a good way. This is just a really strange way to word that. She may be using that wording just to make it fit the song, but just to make all the lyrics fit together there. But it's a really weird way to say it. Okay, so let's continue on. Now here we do have, like I said in part one, there's not really a chorus. We do get a little bit of a chorus here. This next part is repeated. It says, these wounds won't seem to heal. The pain is just too real. There's just too much that time cannot erase. When you cried, I'd wipe away all your tears. When you'd scream, I'd fight away all your fears. I held your hand through all these years, but you still have all of me. Okay, so I guess there is a chorus there. That's your chorus, but it only gets repeated twice. They repeat it one more time at the end. But it's really weird the way they do it because now this next verse isn't a full verse. So this next verse is really only 3 lines. So we have, I've tried so hard to tell myself that you're gone, but though you're still with me, I've been alone all along. See, now this one actually sounds again like he's left. When you say I've been alone all along, in other words, it sounds like she was devoted to him, but he wasn't devoted to her. He never returned any of this love. She's always been alone. I've been alone all along. But we have so much other things in this song where it sounds like he passed away, like he died. So I mentioned many times that a lot of these songs, they're never going to tell you what they mean. The songwriter, the singer, because they want the listener to interpret it. So I will let you interpret that however you want, because that's basically the end of the song. We do repeat that like part of the chorus. We don't even repeat the whole thing. That's why, again, it's hard to say, is that really a chorus? We repeat part of the chorus one last time when it starts with, when you cried, I'd wipe away all your tears. But we don't have the wounds won't seem to heal. We don't have that part of it. So we repeat like half the chorus after that, and that's the end of the song. So I'll let you determine what you think this song means. I personally think this is about someone that she loved dying. Presumably a boyfriend. I mean, I suppose it could be a brother or a sister. But this sounds like a kind of really close relationship. I will tell you that like I told you, they wrote this very early on. So they would have only been about 14, 15, 16 when they wrote the song. So I'm not sure how much they really know about this. So they wrote a pretty darn good song for a pair of kids. I actually think that it was written by Ben Moody. I think he was the one that wrote it. But again, I could be wrong about that. I didn't write that note down. And he is a year older, so he could have been 16. So getting close to being an adult. I guess he could have come up with something like this. But this is pretty talented writing for someone who's essentially a kid. So they did a really good job. It's a good song. It is a little confusing to figure out. So I will let you interpret it however you want to. To me, I think the person has died. That's my interpretation. All right, so that's the song. And again, that is My Immortal by Evanescence. As I told you in the first part, this is one band where I cannot give you a whole long list of songs go listen to all these great songs. But you should at least check out Bring Me to Life. That is a heavier song, more of a hard rock style. That's more what they're known for. So you can kind of hear that in contrast to this song. You get a little bit of that heavier sound near the end of My Immortal. So you heard a little bit of that here with our song today. But you'll really hear more of it in Bring Me to Life. And again, you'll hear that it's mostly, even though you get multiple people singing, it's really Amy Lee, who is the front singer there. And I think that's very interesting. There are very few successful heavy metal bands with women as front singers. I don't mean this to be sexist. I just think it's genetic with the strength of the voice, that men do tend to have stronger voices, and that's probably why. Heavy metal, you got to sing loud. And actually, I'm a fan of heavy metal and rock music, and I have no problem. Like I said, it's not a sexist comment. I have no problem with women, as long as it's done well. And honestly, I have found most of the time when I listen to female lead singers in those type of bands, I'm usually not impressed. There are definitely some exceptions. Heart, awesome. 2 women lead singers. Pat Benatar, great singer. And I would say here as well, she has the strength strength in her voice to do this well. Amy Lee is spectacular as the lead singer in Evanescence. So go check out Bring Me to Life as well. That's another great song by them. And like I said, no long list of other songs to listen to. I'm not saying they don't have any other good songs. If you like what you hear from My Immortal, Bring Me to Life, go ahead and check out some of their other music as well. They have other good songs. I just like to point out kind of the top songs by these groups. The ones that I know are popular, so if they're popular out there in the world, maybe you'll like them too. So check out Bring Me to Life from Evanescence. All right. Thank you for joining us for today's Musical Musings program. Please stay with us and make sure you tune back in next week for another great song. Also, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you.
Musical musings, musical musings, musical